Hey guys, welcome back to Allcarnews, and we are here today with the 2024 Kia Seltos. Now, this is a refreshed Kia Seltos, one of Kia's most hottest selling models. We have an all new design on the front and rear ends, as well as some really welcome interior upgrades and some powertrain upgrades. So let's dive right in. I'm going to show you guys all the new features of this 2024 Seltos, and we're going to take it on a quick drive as well. Okay everyone, really huge thanks for Kia for letting us drive this 2024 Seltos, and here we can see it here right in the metal right now. So Kia has updated the Seltos just a little bit for this 2024 model year, and there are some welcome upgrades on the exterior. There is a much more upscale and handsome design than the previous was on the Seltos, and we can definitely notice that right off the bat up front. Now there's definitely a more wider grille happening over here. This is kind of Kia's new tiger face design. I think this definitely looks a lot more premium than we had before. Now, and you can see on this model we do have those LED lights that extend into the grille just like before, though they're a little bit more defined and styled than they were previously. We can also kind of see this kind of textured brushed finish on the grille surround as well, which I think is a really nice touch. And we also have LED headlights over here with our adaptive beams up top, which is really a fantastic feature. I do really like this lighting signature over here on the Seltos as well. I think it looks really fantastic. We also are getting LED fog lights down here, which is nice. This model also gets this kind of like styled lower area. It almost looks like a skid plate, but I don't believe it is. It's still just plastic, but it does look pretty cool. It's a little more of like a rugged look for the Seltos. Coming around to the sides, we are getting these new wheel options. These look pretty nice, though. Depending on what model you're getting, you'll have a different choice for your wheels. Now, of course, the Seltos can be had in front-wheel drive or all-wheel drive. This one is all-wheel drive, of course. And under the hood, we have a 1.6 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder making just over 190 horsepower, and now it's actually paired to a 8-speed automatic gearbox versus a dual clutch from previous. So that's going to probably address some complaints people have with the dual clutch, so and maybe a little bit of reliability concerns, and this is definitely a welcome upgrade on the Seltos. Out back, we also have a new design, as you can see right here. So we're gonna have more of a longer LED illumination for the taillights. As you can see, it extends out towards the Kia badge in the middle, and it kind of sculpts down onto the sides. Really do love this blue color that's being introduced on the Seltos as well. And you can see that 4X logo on the side, indicating we have some 4-wheel drive options. Now, I don't believe we have a full power operating tailgate, so that's not something that's common in this segment, though we do have a decent amount of storage space in the Seltos that has not changed too much, as this isn't an all-new vehicle. It's just more of a facelifted version. We do have a kind of cargo cover up here, which is quite nice. And up under the floor, we do have a spare tire, which is a welcome feature in this market that does not always have spares anymore. Okay, let's set up the trunk. And again, it's not powered, so you're gonna have to do it manually, but don't fret, it's not that heavy. We do get these really nice roof bars as well, as you can fit some crossbars as well on top. I do kind of like this really sleek design that they have around them. It's really a unique shape. And let's go check out what's changed on the interior. Coming onto the inside of the Seltos, again, nothing much is too radically different in here. Big giant plastic panels on the doors as well. And this one does have a kind of a more upgraded seat option, so these are perforated top and side. Legroom in the Seltos is pretty decent, so this is my driving position, and I can fit behind myself, and we have a decent amount of foot space under here as well. Not too bad. This one does unfortunately not come with the sunroof option, so it's a little bit darker on the interior. We have a fabric cloth roof with some LED lighting in the rear seats as well, which is a little bit better to help illuminate the space. But otherwise, it would be nice to have some kind of like sunroof or panoramic roof in here, but this one does not have that. We also only have one cubby on the passenger side. The driver's seat does not have any sort of cubby situation going over here. No heated rear seats or anything like that, but we do have 2 USB-C ports for some charging, as well as a little storage cubby and rear air vents, which is very welcome. Of course, these seats do fold down as well, and we do have a center console storage space with some 2 cup holders up there, which is pretty nice. And honestly, this room back here is pretty spacious, and I wouldn't really have any complaints back here. Big windows, so you don't feel kind of cramped at all, and the roof is pretty tall, so you do have a pretty decent amount of head space as well. And check out that new interior up front. We have dual 10.25-inch touchscreens, new steering wheel, some new climate controls and stuff, and let's go take a tour of that more up close right now. Hopping out of the Seltos again, pretty easy. It's easy, big openings as well for easy entry and exit, which I do like that. And of course, the Seltos does come with keyless entry and exit, so we do have the button on the door to kind of access that feature. And then hopping onto the inside, we do have an upgraded Bose audio system on this one, which you can see labeled right there. The driver is getting a full power seat with lumbar support, which is quite nice. And let's hop inside. pretty decent solid thunk from the doors as well. And this is the upgraded interior on the Seltos. So as you can see up front, we're getting these new 10.25-inch displays, one for the driver, of course, and of course for your infotainment display as well. And if you're familiar with Kias, this is pretty much their new infotainment system that we've been seeing. It's a little bit updated for the Seltos model, much quicker, I think, to respond than even the EV6 I was in. The lamination on the display actually feels a little bit more premium even as well than the EV6's one. So this may be a new upgraded system, actually. I actually quite like it. There's some kind of quirky fun features in here. We have like a sound mood lamp, which is really interesting, as there is some ambient lighting on the interior. You can also change this display. So right now it will kind of show daytime because it's daytime, and it'll be nighttime as nighttime, but this can be changed to a whole bunch of different displays through your menu system. You do have navigation built in as well. Then down here we do have a wireless charging mat, which is kind of hidden in this little cubby over here, and you have a little indicator to make sure it's on or not. USB-C port, USB port, as well as your 12-volt power outlet right there, and this nice little storage cubby, which is pretty nice. Bit of a grab handle here, and I have to say the interior quality has improved for this facelift. This is really, really solid, as well as the materials on the dash. They feel much better than I think even the pre-facelift Seltos. There's a little bit scratchy or hard plastics down here, but that's completely fine. I think this is going to be a high use area, especially with the cup holders and some storage cubby stuff down here. A little bit of a center console storage as well, not too bad. And we are getting a drive mode selector down here. So when you pop up to your instrument cluster, you will see the drive modes change from normal, sport, and smart mode. Nothing too crazy. There's no sort of kind of advanced off-road modes, though you do have a four-wheel drive lock button to kind of help evenly distribute traction throughout the vehicle as well, which is quite nice. You also have a hill descent control function as well, which is pretty cool. Heated seats for the front driver and passenger, and we also have a camera system right here. Now it just activates your rear camera. There's no 360 cameras on this model, but I think the camera resolution is okay. It could be a little bit better. I've seen some other cars in the market, like the CX-30 from Mazda, have much clearer cameras, but I think this is pretty fine for what you're getting in this new Seltos. Now, I guess a big new feature, like I said earlier, is this 8-speed automatic gearbox versus the old dual clutch. This is going to help to improve reliability concerns I think people were having with that, as well as that jerkiness that the dual clutch was giving people. I think it was a little bit annoying to customers, so this hopefully will address a lot of those concerns. Down here, a little bit of a redesigned climate system area, all hard buttons, which I absolutely love, and you do have this separate screen for your climate controls as well. Refreshed Kia steering wheel, so we have the new Kia badge and that kind of like that brushed metal finish. All your controls for all your systems on your steering wheel as well, so nothing too crazy there. It does actually feel nice in this kind of perforated wrapped material, and we do have a flat bottom, which I don't know if that's necessary enough for the Seltos, but I think it looks pretty nice. Let's take this on the drive now, and we'll see how the new Seltos, this is driving dynamics, handle on the road. I'm going to pop it into normal for a second. We'll pop it into sport afterwards. So this one actually has a 1.6 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine under the hood, powering all 4 wheels. And now we actually have over 190 horsepower, which is pretty decent for the Seltos. This is a small little compact SUV crossover hatchback thing. And we also have an updated gearbox. So over here we have an 8-speed automatic gearbox versus the 7-speed dual clutch that we had before. Even Kia admits that customers weren't too fond of that transmission, mainly because it was a little bit lurchy in stop and go traffic, and I think there were some reliability concerns in the long run with that gearbox. So this new 8-speed automatic torque converter hopes to address those concerns. So how is the Seltos like to drive? Well, we just took it on a first drive right now, and it's actually pretty comfortable. It's a little bit firm on the firmer side for the suspension tuning than I was actually expecting. It handles bumps pretty well. It does soften them out, but compared to some other vehicles in this segment, it's a little bit on the firmer side. Now, I wouldn't call it sporty at all, but I think it's just a little bit firmer, and you do hear some road noise, but it's nothing at all too concerning. Now, steering is light and direct. There really isn't any feel at all. I think if you really want a vehicle in this class that's going to handle really well and steer better, you're going to want to go with like a Mazda CX-30. Nonetheless, this is very fine for what it is. Let's pop it into sport mode. So we have our drive mode select button there. So we have normal, sport, and smart mode. And it's got some pump. It's got a little bit of pep in its engine right there. It isn't the best sounding engine I've ever heard in this segment at all. I do like how actually it kind of revs itself out a little more. You do have kind of like an S mode for the transmission as well. If you pop your gear selector over to the left, I guess that'll help to give you a little bit like quicker shifts in this relative sense. There's no paddle shifters or anything, but if you do want to roll your own gears, you can do that from the gearbox down here, the shifter. And it does handle and compose itself very well, actually. There's not a lot of body roll through corners. And it feels very safe and confident, actually, to drive. I do quite like that. And let's say you are in a little bit more of like a snowier or muddier or all-terrain situation, you do have the option to kind of lock the four-wheel drive system in a lower speed setting, to give you a little bit more of improved traction. So that's a really nice feature that they have there. But nonetheless, I think it handles itself very, very well. I'm actually quite impressed. And this interior is definitely a welcome upgrade over the previous Seltos, and that wasn't the worst interior on the planet, but I think this is a nice refresh for technology on the inside. Going around this little bump. Steering definitely does stiffen up a little bit around some tighter turns. Yeah, and it's definitely got a decent amount of acceleration. Now, these cars, remember, you have to remember, they're not super big vehicles, so they don't need to have like a crazy amount of horsepower. It's not meant to be like a sports car or anything. It's your everyday kind of daily little compact, subcompact SUV. And for what it is, I think it's doing pretty well. It's actually pretty fun. Not bad for the Seltos. Now, of course, you can also get the sister vehicle for the Seltos, and that would be the Hyundai Kona. Now, that Kona will be able to come in a fully electric option as well. So if you do want something like that, you might want to go for the Hyundai variant. It does look, has a little bit more of a bolder design, I might want to say. Though I actually like the Seltos' look a little bit more. It kind of takes the styling from the bigger Kia Telluride and kind of drags it down into this, which I think is a much more handsome and favorable design over the Kona personally. Though the Kona definitely has its unique quirks on the interior and exterior as well. Nonetheless, though, this is a pretty good update, I think, for Kia. They have to remain competitive in this segment. It is a continuously growing segment, and it's a very hot segment still, and it's never going to be cooling down, I think. So this is a very welcome upgrade. Oh, definitely notice a little bit more acceleration when you have the transmission in S mode. Not bad, Kia. Well, guys, thank you for joining me on this really quick first drive of the Kia Seltos. Depending on when this video comes out, it is under embargo right now, so hopefully you guys will be able to see it soon. But this is the new Kia Seltos, so I would definitely go check it out if you are interested in this new Kia Seltos. Take it for a test drive, see how you like it. But these are my first impressions on it. It's not bad. I wish the interior was a little bit more higher quality, but oh, I have a 7 Series racing on down over there. Check that out. But pretty good. Thank you guys for joining me again, and stay tuned for a lot more content coming from Allcarnews.